everybody? I'm Jason. This is Tennessee Mountain Homestead, and today I'm making another video as a follow-up to the video I made yesterday where I'm trying to tune in the Mikuni carburetor on this Predator 670. So on the way home from work, I stopped off at the auto parts store and I got these NGK, and they are BPR 2ES, and apparently these are the hottest plugs I can get for this motor. So my plan today is to change the spark plugs out because the ones that are in there are most likely black from being rich for so long. I'm going to put a pair of fresh spark plugs in it. I'm going to take it down the road pretty far and cruise at a steady higher RPM, turn around and come back, maybe idle around a little bit. I'm going to run it for, I don't know, half hour, 45 minutes. Come back in here, I'm going to pull a plug and see what it looks like. I'm going to try to read the spark plugs to see where my tune's at. So give me a minute, we'll get right into it. So the spark plugs happen to be a 13/16. And I'm going to go ahead and pull these, and we're going to look at these and see what the condition they're in. And these were fairly new plugs. They've only been on there for, I don't know, a couple of weeks, maybe a few runs. But let's see what the condition is, and I'm suspecting that they're going to be black. Two hours later. It actually might have cleaned up yesterday after I ran it. After I put the 220 jet in it and I ran it, because it was a lot worse than that before. That's actually kind of looking like it's cleaning itself up, but let's see. Let's put some brand new ones in it. Let me take off the front plug. Okay, so these are the plugs out of the motor, and this in my right hand, the one I'm moving, is the one closest to the front of the engine. This is the rear. I know for a fact that these plugs were dirtier than this before. So like I said, maybe since I put a leaner main jet in yesterday and ran it for a while out down the road, this one's starting to get that tan color maybe. And this one's a little bit black still. But we're gonna go ahead and replace those with some brand new hotter plugs. Now, these are the 6ES BPR, oh actually they're 5. So BPR 5ES is what the ones that were in the engine. These are BPR 2ES. Supposedly they're hotter. Oh, I need to gap them first. A quick search, and these are supposed to be .030, which it's actually there already. That's snug right there. So that one's good. And so is that one. Might be a touch more, but it's in the ballpark. It's snug on this spark plug gapper. So we're gonna reinstall these brand new plugs in the motor, take it for a ride. The spark plugs are installed. Everything is good to go. I'm gonna light this thing up, let it warm up for a little bit, and I'm gonna hit the road. And I'm gonna take you all along with me. I wanna film on my phone. All right, guys, I'm about 1.75 miles or so from my house. I just drove down here. It just took me a few minutes. I'm at the bridge over off Martin Creek. So I left the tractor over there running. I didn't want a chance turning that thing off. I don't have cell phone reception out here. And if it don't start back up for some reason or whatever, I don't feel like walking home. So I'm going to go ahead and get back on it, drive the 2 miles back, maybe putt around the yard a little bit, and then we'll pull those spark plugs out and see what they look like. I just got back to my house. That was about at least a 3 mile round trip. I had GPS on. I was running about 16 miles an hour on average. I could do 20, but I'm flying blind at that point. I don't know what the RPMs are, and I do not want to push this thing. It's all stock valve springs, all that. So if it's running over 3,600 to do 20, which I don't know, I'm not chancing it. So I was cruising where it sounded safe to me, but I'd like to say that there was no fire at any point. Now when the sun was behind me and I was driving on the street, I can see the vapor on the road. I tried to film it on my phone. I don't know if it came through, but you can see the exhaust vapors. It's like distorting the pavement, like with the way in the shadow. Hard to explain. I don't know if that's normal or if that's still running a little bit rich. I guess we're gonna find out. Another thing I desperately need, not related to this, is a different gas pedal. That thing right there, it works, but it's not good for like cruising and trying to hold your foot on it. That brake lever for a BMX bike. But otherwise, I'm gonna fire this thing back up. I'm gonna drive around the yard some, and then we're gonna go pull the plug and see what it looks like. much. It's not bad. Way better than it was. Woo! All right, guys. I think that's some good time on those new plugs. Let's see what story they have to tell us. All right, got the spark plugs out. They're still kind of hot. But I literally just shut this engine off like 2 minutes ago, if that, and took the spark plugs out. Yeah, I got gloves on, but I can hold these in my hands. They're not hot at all. The rear one, the one on my left hand, is hotter than the front one by feel. Okay, so here we go. The rear one is looking almost normal. It's a little black, but it's got the hues of tan in it still. The front one is black. But I'll tell you what, not nearly as bad as it used to get. So I think what I'm gonna do in the near future, not tonight, is possibly step down the pilot jet to a 17.5. It's the one that was in there when I bought the carburetor. And if you were watching yesterday's video, I have two 17.5 pilot jets because I didn't know what was in the carburetor. I messaged Performance 670 months ago and asked them if they knew, and they said that it could vary depending on the lot that they put out. So I didn't know there was a 17.5 in there. I just bought one. That's why there's two. But there's a 20 in there right now, and there's a 220 main. But that is night and day difference than how it was before. And it runs better. No fire. It doesn't smell like fuel. It's crisper. It runs smoother. I mean, it's no brainer, right? It was way too rich. So I'm gonna take that as a win temporarily. Like I said, I'm gonna take this thing off, do a 17.5 pilot. I think 220 on the main is probably good. I don't know how much, they might make a 210, I'll have to look. But I don't know what it needs. I'm gonna try the pilot jet first because I have that. But anyways, I'm gonna put these plugs back in and see what we can get into in a second. Okay, the spark plugs are back in. And there was one more thing that I forgot to mention that I wanted to say, is that on all the forums that I've read in the recent past and the Facebook group for the 670 Predator engines, the reason one cylinder is richer than the other, I guess it's a common problem, or not a problem, but apparently the intake manifold, the intake runners are different lengths. And the stock carburetor has two jets, and one jet is bigger than the other. At least that's what I've read. So when you go to a single carburetor, I guess the fuel travels to the cylinders different, the fuel air mixture. And one of them's gonna be a little bit darker than the other. Maybe that's the issue. Maybe that's why it's like that. I don't know. I'm still gonna play with the jets. But anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for today's video. I hope you guys found this informative. I hope if anyone's new to the channel, I kindly ask that you give me a like, definitely subscribe, drop a comment below. If you know anything I don't, if you see something I don't, I really appreciate it. Thanks to all my existing viewers. And once again, I'm Jason. Jace is here. He just came to visit. This is Tennessee Mountain Homestead. We'll see you on the next one.